Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Building with OpenTok series. My name is Monik. I'm a developer evangelist at Talkbox, and today we'll be going over how to add live video to desktop applications using Electron.js and OpenTok.js SDK. So, just a quick overview about what Talkbox does. We're a live video platform, which allows you to add real-time communication for video, voice, and messaging to your mobile, web, and desktop applications. So we're built on top of WebRTC, so you don't need any browser plugins, and we have SDKs for the native applications. And these are web, iOS, Android, Windows, and obviously Electron that allows you to port to Linux or Mac OS or Windows. And we support languages such as JavaScript, Swift, Objective-C, Java, and different frameworks such as React, React Native, Angular, and Cordova, Ionic, and stuff. So the next slide over, I'm going to talk about real quick on other webinars that we've done in the past. So for more information, visit crowdcast.io/talkbox, and you'll be able to see the webinars we've done in the past and the ones that we have coming up. So definitely make sure to sign up for the live video webinar on iOS and Swift, and the other customer interviews and stuff that we've done as well. Today's agenda is going to be on Electron, the OpenTok basics, and adding the JavaScript SDK with Electron to build a desktop application. So here you can see Electron. Just think about Electron. Electron allows you to build native applications just using plain JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. You can package these applications for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. It uses similar design patterns as web application, and has the same fundamental UI building blocks as the native platforms that you want to serve the application on. And now, just a quick introduction to OpenTok basics. So if you're new to Talkbox, these are very critical to know. It's the basics for every OpenTok application that you build. We have a concept of sessions, tokens, publishing, and subscribing. Sessions are essentially a chat room where users can interact. They have a unique ID that's associated to it, and this is where users can publish and subscribe to video streams. And these are generated on your app server or your account dashboard that we'll go through in just a little bit. Oh, it looks like so a token is a credentials to the session. So everybody has to have a token to join a session. It's used to authenticate. You can have it expire after a certain time, and it can contain metadata describing the information about a client, and not something that's obviously personally identifiable. And just a quick overview on publishing and subscribing. Publishing is a way for you to publish audio and video, so others who are subscribing to you can see it. And subscribing is a way to see somebody else's stream in the same session. So just as simple as that. And I want to show you a quick slide of how the platform works. So we have a cloud and we have a publishing subscribing model. And just a sample here in the telehealth application, there's a stethoscope information off of the mobile device that's being published along with the person on the mobile device. And then on the MacBook Pro, you can see that the screen sharing of the stethoscope data and the conversation of the doctor going on there with the text shot in the middle. So all this is possible with Talkbox and the screen sharing as well. Next off, I'm going to shift over to the Talkbox account dashboard. And for those of you who are familiar with Talkbox, this is where you can see how to create an account, your account settings, and the projects that you want. For us, we're going to be creating a new project for this. So we're going to create an API project as opposed to an embed. An embeds project is where you just want to have an iframe or a JavaScript tag to add live video to your website. And if you're interested in that, make sure to check out our first episode in the Building with OpenTok series. But in this one, we'll create a standard project, and we'll give it a title of, let's say, Electron Webinar. And I can say next, and this is going to generate some credentials for me that will be useful to use the API. Next off, I want to show you where these samples are available. So if you go to the OpenTok web samples page, you'll be able to see a variety of basic video chat, limited from Angular to Vue, publishing canvas, and so on. So this is all available, and I'll come back to this in just a little bit. But for now, I'm going to switch over to our terminal, and you should be able to see this. And in our terminal, we're going to start with a Electron Quick Start package. So essentially, I'm going to go to this GitHub, provided with the folks that the Electron folks created this repository where you can essentially get started really quickly. I'm going to copy this command right here, git clone, and then I'm going to paste it into my terminal here, and then get started. So now I've created my Electron Quick Start project. I'm going to change into that directory, and then I'm going to go ahead and install all the dependencies by using npm install. Now after I've done that, let me go ahead and just clear my screen so it's easier to see. So now we've installed everything. We also want to install the OpenTok JS SDK, so OpenTok client. So this is how you can install the OpenTok JS SDK just as an npm module. And you can see it installed the latest version of 2.14.12. And now I'm going to open up my VS Code. So this is going to allow me to quickly show you how we can walk through this. As you can see, this project comes with already information like the renderer.js and stuff. So the main JS here is showing you in Electron how to create a window, what size window you want. We'll leave this as default because we're going to really focus on adding the live video part. And then the index.html, this is where you can add your HTML and JavaScript. And then here, real quick, I'm going to just add our publisher divs. So div with an ID publisher. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another line with a div ID of subscriber, just some DOM elements that we can use. And in here, I'm going to change this to OpenTok.js, and I'm going to create a file called OpenTok.js. In this file, I'm going to require the package that we installed, as you can see, and we'll also add our credentials here, which are required to instantiate a session. So session ID. And we'll be grabbing this from our account dashboard in just a little second. So I'm going to go over the code walkthrough. So to connect to a Talkbox session, you need an API key, a session ID, and a token. And let me make my font bigger so everybody can see what's going on. Let's get rid of that real quick. And hopefully this is a little better for everybody to see. And I'm going to go ahead and instantiate the session object by doing ot.init session. And this will be, if you have a VS Code or add-up, it'll be easy. It'll just start coming up with the information that you need. The API key, and we need a session ID. Oops, excuse me. And now we'll also set up our event listeners. So these event listeners are super important for us, so we can see when a stream is created or when a session is connected. So when we do have a session connected event, what we'll do is we'll instantiate a publisher. So because we want to make sure that we're connected to the session. And we'll do something like ot.init publisher. And since we created a publisher DOM element, we'll just give it that ID, the one we created in our index.html. And let's go ahead and feed it the properties of publish audio false, so we don't have any audio background noise since we're in the webinar already. And after we publish, obviously we want to be able to, after we create a publisher, we obviously want to be able to publish this publisher. So we're going to go ahead here, and since there could be errors in creating, publishing or substantiating a publisher, instantiating, we want to have a, we want to be able to handle these errors. So I'm going to actually go ahead and create a handle error function here that could be used throughout this code. So, for example, if there is an error, we'll simply alert the error, and we'll just say there was an error. As simple as that message, and we will show the error message, error.message. So this will be useful for us throughout this code right here. So we have these properties, but we also have the handle error here method. So if there is an error here, we'll be able to see what it was. And same thing with this, we could use a callback for our handle error here. And then another one we want to add is a stream created event. And the stream created event is when another person joins the session, is also another person creates a stream in a session. So when they start publishing and you want to subscribe to it, this is the event that we would want to handle. So we would do something like session.subscribe, and we would want to say, okay, we want to subscribe to the stream, and this is the element that we've created that we want to subscribe to, and in case there's an error, we want to use this function to handle the error. So now we've set our event listeners, but lastly, we also want to, let me clean this up here, we also want to connect to the session because nothing is possible if you can't connect to the session. So we're going to add the token here. With the token, we'll connect, and we'll also handle the error here if there is one. So we'll have an alert. So now as you can see, we could run this, but we would get an error because we don't have our credentials. I'm going to switch back to our account portal here, where we can create a session ID and a token so we can connect it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a session ID. You can generate this on your app server. Obviously, this is what you would want to do in a production application, but for the sake of a sample, we'll do this here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the session ID over here, and I'm going to go ahead and copy it here as well to create a token. Let's make this token expire after 6 hours. So you could obviously do this programmatically, but we're going to leave it for 6 hours just for the sake of this demo. And then lastly, I want to also add my API key, which is available at the top here. And I've copied my API key, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste it here. So just to make sure, in our index.html, we've created this publisher, a div with publisher ID and ID of subscriber. This is the DOM elements where we want the video to be placed. And we also require this file called OpenTok.js, which is just at the root. And in our OpenTok.js is where we'll do all the JavaScript SDK code. So creating a session, creating a error handler function, some events that we register for, so we can instantiate a publisher and publish, and then obviously a stream created event and connecting. So now since we've set all this up, we can simply go to our terminal and just run npm start, and this should open up something for us like this. So hey everybody, that's me again. You can see, so this is me publishing. So now if I wanted to see it subscribing, I can simply go to the Playground tool that we have. So I'm going to leave that running for just a second, and I'm going to go ahead here and copy the session ID that I already had, and go to the Talkbox Playground tool. So this tool allows you to really, literally have a playground. So you can connect to sessions, publish your screen, publish audio only, etc. So you can see the features and functionalities that Talkbox has. So I can join this session right here. And after this, I'm going to go ahead and connect. And you'll be seeing me. And you're not hearing any feedback because we use the parameters publish audio to false. But if I set this here, publish stream, I'll also do the same thing. So we don't have any, let's turn this off, and then we'll do continue. So now let's open up our Electron application, and you can see two of me. So it's simple as that, super easy to add live video to your Electron application. And you can totally use the same code for your Windows app, your Linux, and your Mac OS application. We even have customers running this on a Raspberry Pi, so you can totally achieve great things with this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and actually close this real quick, exit out, and I'm going to click here and disconnect real quick. And I'm going to go back to our terminal. And in this terminal, what I really want to show is how you can package this application and distribute it for your device. So it could be for Mac, as I mentioned, Linux, or Windows. You can specify this information. I use a tool called Electron Packager. It's something that's made by the open source community. So I'm going to just go ahead and install that real quick, Electron Packager, and then I'm going to save it as a dev dependency. So just letting that install real quickly. So after that installed, I just like to clear my screen. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my code editor and go to my package.json file. And we just saw that we installed this packager, but we also want to, I want to make a script where I can run this packager. So I'm going to go ahead and say build app. And in this script, just run the Electron Packager. Now you have definitely different options of so the name, the icon, and all that information. But for the sake of the demo, we're not going to really specify that. We'll let it build out for this macOS application. So I'm going to just run this command, run this script through my terminal, npm run, I believe it was build app. And now you can see the packager is running. It's going to package for this. And now it's actually created it. So back to my VS Code again. Sorry about changing so many screens. But I'm going to open this folder in my Finder so I can actually show you what that looks like. So you can see this is what it's created, and this Electron Quick Start application, I click on it, and it runs with live video with this. So that's how easy it is to package a desktop application. And the benefits of this is that you don't have to, as long as you keep your Chromium up to date, it'll be all packaged as one. And a lot of companies, GitHub backs this. Slack's macOS application is actually built on Electron. Discord, and there are many other providers, even VS Code, Atom, they all have an Electron framework that's being used. So it's easier to use and not having to manage different browsers, so you can have this desktop application here. I'm going to actually go ahead and quit this, and I really want to show you the next thing, how easy it is to screen share. For those of you who've developed with OpenTok before, you know that if you have a Chrome application, a web application on Chrome, you need a screen sharing extension. But that's not the case for Electron, because Electron obviously doesn't have a Chrome similar store like Chrome Store. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that would work. So let's exit out of, oops, let's go back here. Let's exit out of that. And in these properties that we set earlier, we simply have to say video source, oops, set this to screen. So once we've set our video source to screen, this will allow us to actually start publishing for our screen. So I'm going to go ahead and actually run npm start as well. So let me get my terminal up again. So npm start, and this should start us screen sharing. I'd see, so we're actually screen sharing within a screen share publishing, so you might see some sort of delay in that, but that's how easy it is. You might also notice that it didn't give you the option of selecting which window you want to screen share. Unfortunately, that's something that the Electron Desktop Capture doesn't have it. There's a limitation with it, but it shares your whole screen. But it's something that's as easy to begin with as just changing the video source parameter. So it's super easy to get started with. You don't have to create an extension, and your end users don't have to install that extension. I'm going to exit out of that, and you would package this exactly the same as we do, just using that script. So now, just a quick overview. We went over how to create a project in the account portal. We went over how to create an Electron application, how to download the Electron package, and publish it using Electron Packager. So that's how. This is just the webinar is pretty quick there. I want to go ahead and just say there's a poll that we're running on the webinar. Please go ahead and answer that. Just let us know what next platform you want us to do the webinar on. If there's any questions you have, so we'll actually go ahead and take a look at the poll real quick, anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and minimize that, and I'm gonna go back to this so we can just have it here, and just going to go ahead and look at the questions that we've been seeing. So we have two questions. It says, shouldn't we create session from client apps? I'm assuming that we should create our own server. Yes, so you should definitely use your own app server to generate session IDs and tokens. This was just done for the sake of the demo. We have server SDKs that allow you to do it. These server SDKs are available in Node.js, PHP, Ruby, and Java, and Python, I believe. So you should check those out and you'll be able to use them. And if you have any questions on this, definitely visit our GitHub, github.com/OpenTok, or our Developer Center, which I'll show you real quick. So you'll be able to see our server SDKs here. Just click on this and you'll be able to see. So we also have one of .NET. So you can see how to generate session IDs, tokens, and so on. Next, are there security concerns with Electron being used? This is in regard to being built on top of Chrome. Does it inherit any issues with that? I would say it's built right on top of Chromium, so anything that's in the Chromium would go on, but it's something that I'm not sure of, so maybe if you send us an email and I'll follow up with you on this. I actually don't know on top of my hand, but I'll definitely get back to you on this. Do you plan on offering a Zoom or Pan on Top API of the publisher? Good question. I'll get this back to our product team and see where we are with this. I don't know if there's any plans for this yet, but I'll definitely check and let you know. Are there any other questions? Oh, I just answered that real quick. I'll stick around for another minute or so. I know we went a little quicker, but that's what I love about these webinars. They're really short. We get right into the code, and that's the whole point of these. And we do have, so in case you missed our previous webinars, we do have this available. We'll have them available. So if you want to go to, talkbox.com/developer, and I will post this link um, in the chat. But building with OpenTalk, you can see our webinars and the videos and the questions that we were asked and how we were answered. So everything is available full-fledged on this page, and you'll be able to see which one to sign up for. So I'm just going to iterate. Please answer the polls, just so we have those, and let's actually take a look. So we have, how do you build native desktop live apps? So people say, I don't, there's, one person saying, I don't build native desktop applications, I just use browsers. Some say they use Windows native apps. Some folks are already using Electron, and some are actually using different frameworks. So if you were the folks who said we're using different frameworks, please do let us know. We always like to see what we can help our developers work with and what they're working with. So let us know which ones you're using. And as for mobile apps, you're using either a web browser, progressive web application, or native or React Native. But if you do use something else, definitely let us know, as we'll try to accommodate that as well. Career Embedded Framework, yes, CEF, that's great. I'm not sure if CEF is fully supported from our end, but I definitely know of a couple customers using that as well. Thanks, Hunter. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm also on Twitter, as you can tell, or available, just through the regular email channels. And so yes, last thing that I want to say, definitely do sign up for our iOS Swift one if you're interested in mobile applications. We did one on React Native, and now we'll talk about the benefits of just using Swift, and then possibly a future one with Objective-C. So definitely do sign up for that, and we'll see you next on that webinar. Thank you.